Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I recap the NBA games from the night. We're down to the wire in the season. The conference finals started last night, as you're probably seeing this video, with Lakers versus Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. Over in the East, we've got Heat versus Celtics, which is starting probably today, as you're seeing this video, as I'm first uploading it. We're right here at the end of the season. These recaps aren't going to be going on much longer. Of course, I'll go all the way through the NBA Finals, but we've almost made it through. I think this is now my third season of covering the NBA on this channel, so I just want to real quick thank y'all for all the support you've shown on this channel over the course of this season. It's been an amazing ride. I love doing these recaps and making these videos for y'all. It's one of my favorite things to do in this entire world, so thank y'all for all the support that you've shown. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this game, this Western Conference Finals first matchup. When I talked about this series in my series preview video, I believe I even put it in the title, I said that this could be one of those classic matchups. There were a lot of reasons for this, but mainly because it's just going to be good basketball. You've got two very different styles with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, the Los Angeles Lakers being more of like a defensive-minded, bang down low, like physical type of force type team, while the Nuggets are this high-powered, modern offense that's going to kill you with cuts, high-level playmaking by Nikola Jokic, nail some threes. It's very different on either side of the ball, and so I felt like these conflicting styles would be really enjoyable, and of course, there's just a bunch of star power all over the place between LeBron, Anthony Davis, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, so the stars are going to be in action. There's also narratives involved, as there always is with the NBA, with LeBron chasing his fifth ring, Anthony Davis trying to get his second, build up his own legacy, the Lakers trying to just get another championship on top of the million that they already have, while the Nuggets are trying to get the first NBA Finals appearance in franchise history. Jokic is trying to cement his legacy, of course, as is everyone else on that Nuggets team. But yeah, just a really exciting series going into things, and game one did not disappoint, because while I think the series as a whole is going to be a classic, right now we know for sure that game one was a classic in its own right. It was amazing, and it begins with the battle between the two bigs. Now, at the beginning of the game, the Nuggets were blowing out the Lakers, like for the better part of the first quarter, even into the second quarter, and in the third quarter, the Nuggets were up by as much as I think 20, 21 points. They seemed unstoppable. The offense was absolutely clicking. There was nothing the Lakers could do defensively to stop them until the fourth quarter, which we will get to that. And eventually the Lakers did kind of figure things out. They brought this within 3 points. But the Nuggets just had too much firepower and ended up winning this game 132 to 126, a really high-powered offensive battle. And the highlight of the whole thing was the battle of the bigs. Jokic versus Anthony Davis, who both had some of the best games of their playoff careers. It was amazing to watch these two high-level, top 10 players go at it on the biggest stage that they possibly could in the Western Conference Finals. It was a great time, and I'll start with Jokic because his team did end up winning. He's been amazing these entire playoffs. I mean, he averaged a 30-point triple-double in the whole series against Phoenix, and he carried over that play into this first matchup where he looked absolutely unstoppable for pretty much the first 3 quarters. He finished the game with an unreal, like 2K-like stat line of 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists, and 2 blocks, while shooting 70.6% from the field, perfect 3 of 3 from deep, and 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Unbelievable stuff from Nikola Jokic. He was doing everything, whether you send one-on-one coverage on him and he's just going to destroy you because you can't really guard Nikola Jokic. He was drawing threes if they left him open. He was running the court, grabbing offensive boards, putting it up and in. He got 6 offensive boards in this game. And if you sent 2 guys at him or found some way to stop him from getting to his spot, he was just dicing apart the Lakers' #1 overall defense with his playmaking, as he always does, running action, setting screens, dribble handoffs with Jamal Murray, which in particular or destroying the Lakers for a majority of this game. The Nuggets just play beautiful basketball. Like, if you have a friend who isn't really into the sport and you want to help them get into it, show them this game. Let them watch Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets run offense. It is beautiful. It is like peak hoops watching this team orchestrate things offensively, and Jokic is of course at the focal point of the whole thing. He continues to make a case to be the best player in the world. It's a take that I feel like is kind of the predominant one on NBA Twitter and in NBA circles at this point. Most people think it's the Joker at the top of the league at the moment, and when you watch him play, it makes sense. In the third quarter, I believe it was, to end the quarter at the end of the buzzer, he hit the most absurd 3 that just does not make any sense. but it's Nikola Jokic, so of course he knocks it down, and Anthony Davis just literally like looked at him and laughed. I think also one of the Lakers assistant coaches was just staring like, how did that go in? Just unbelievable stuff from the Joker. And he of course got some help from Jamal Murray, who shot 12 of 20 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. He ended up with 31 points of his own to go with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, 3 steals. Offensively, he was incredible. Now defensively was another story, and we'll get to that later. You also had great play, of course, from Michael Porter Jr., who had 15 points on 50% shooting, go with 10 boards. He hits the most contested shots and makes them look like absolutely nothing. KCP had 21 points and over 50% shooting. Bruce Brown had 16 points. Again, one of the best role players in the league. The Nuggets just looked unstoppable, as did the Lakers, because like I said, it was 132 to 126. This was one of those ridiculous offensive battles. And for the Lakers, as I mentioned earlier, they're led by Anthony Davis, who was ridiculous. He finished this game with 40 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. He shot 14 of 23, 61% from the field. He was 1 of 1 from 3, 11 of 11 from the line. Unreal performance from Anthony Davis offensively and defensively. It wasn't the typical dominant effort that we've come to know from Anthony Davis for the most part in this game, because the Lakers were kind of trying to figure out how to use him. As I mentioned in my series preview video, the big reason why the Lakers have been so dominant defensively is the play of Anthony Davis, which is no secret. But really what they've been doing is having Anthony Davis kind of play off of a non-shooter in the corner, and he's able to kind of just roam down low, send a double over if they need it, affect any and all shots at the rim, deter guys from even trying to shoot by the basket, and it's worked wonders. It's the reason why they're the number 1 defense in the playoffs so far. But it's another challenge against an offense like the Denver Nuggets that doesn't have any particularly bad three-point shooters. Aaron Gordon is the worst one in that starting lineup, and through the playoffs up till this game, he was shooting 38.5% from deep. Now, he's never been a particularly great three-point shooter, so theoretically he could be in for some regression, but if he's hitting threes, it makes things really difficult, and he wasn't hitting threes, but the Nuggets were finding ways to involve him in the offense. They were finding ways to keep things fluid, so Anthony Davis really couldn't just guard him. He was trying to guard Nikola Jokic, which he was able to stop him sometimes, but then again, if Anthony Davis was stonewalling him a little bit, Jokic was just making the right read. He was making a pass to pick apart the defense. They were finding ways to not let Anthony Davis get comfortable. But in the fourth quarter, Darvin Ham put Anthony Davis on Aaron Gordon, who was usually chilling in the dunker spot because his threes were not falling in this game. And that way, they were able to have Anthony Davis shade over and had Rui Hachimura play on Nikola Jokic. And he actually held his own for the most part. And if Jokic got anywhere close to the basket, AD just shaded over. It worked wonders. The Joker really, I don't even think scored a single point in the fourth quarter, if I'm remembering correctly. He might have scored a couple later on in the period, but I don't think he scored a single point in the fourth quarter. So they were able to effectively neutralize him, and that's why they were able to erase that near 20-point deficit. That, and also Austin Reeves went ballistic. He was nailing a bunch of threes. He's going to get a bag. And also, LeBron James was really good in this one too. He finished the game with 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 dimes, a block. He shot 9 of 16 from the field. The 3-ball was not falling in this one, as it has not been the case these entire playoffs. He shot 0 of 4 from 3. He's going to have to find that shot at some point. It did come back to bite them late in this game, where he settled for a 3 towards the end of the game, despite the fact that he was destroying Jamal Murray this entire game. While Jamal Murray had an amazing offensive performance, the defense was abysmal. Like, it was terrible. They need him to be better on that end. LeBron James was just hunting switches the entire game on Jamal Murray and making him pay time and time again, whether Jamal was fouling him because he didn't really have a choice and LeBron was just overpowering him physically. Either that, or he was just getting right by him, getting to the basket, getting down low. The Nuggets had to send doubles over, and so LeBron was able to pick apart their defense that way. They've got to figure out how to prevent Jamal Murray from getting in those situations. He can't be guarding LeBron James one-on-one for a majority of the game. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly, like it almost did late in this game, where the Lakers, again, like I said, almost came back, but they did end up falling short. LeBron settled for a 3 towards the end of this game when Jamal Murray had 5 fouls. He got the switch. He just went for the 3, and I understand trying to go for the tie in that scenario where you fought all the way back, you're on the road, you want to go for that, not kill shot, but you want to go for the shot that secures the tie, that makes it, putting all the pressure basically on the Denver Nuggets. I kind of see where he's coming from, but I would have liked to see LeBron James drive that ball to the basket on Jamal Murray towards the end, but in the end, you've got to kind of live with it. I mean, he had an amazing game overall, so shout out to Darvin Ham for making that adjustment late in this game. I think it's going to be something the Nuggets have to figure out. They're going to have to send Aaron Gordon out to the three-point line. He's going to have to hit those shots. Like I said, 0 for 3 from deep tonight on this game. He's going to have to figure things out. He's going to have to be an effective floor spacer. Otherwise, the Lakers might have found a really great strategy for slowing down this Nuggets offense. And if they had employed that strategy the whole night, the Lakers probably win this one. They started the game off with the same lineup they used to close out the Warriors last game, running 3 guards, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The 3 guards being Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, and D'Angelo Russell. And yeah, that worked great against the Warriors, but against this Nuggets team that has so much size, whether it's Michael Porter Jr., who's 6'10", Jokic, who's a 7-footer, Aaron Gordon, who's also got a lot of height, it's just really not going to work. I don't think that small ball is a long-term solution for this team. And D'Lo himself especially was terrible. He was getting torched on the defensive end like the Lakers kind of were the entire night, which is partially just because the Nuggets were hitting absolutely absurd shots, even if they were super contested. But D'Lo in particular was just not very good in this game. Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves were much better as the guards. And so maybe D'Lo ends up getting benched at some point for those two. They just seem a bit more effective in this scenario. And then you can start another forward. Like I mentioned, Hachimura was great in this game, so maybe he gets a start. Jared Vanderbilt came in at points in this game. He played 10 minutes, but ultimately wasn't super effective in that time. Lonnie Walker wasn't super efficient, but he also provided a bit of a scoring punch, so I expect him to stay in the rotation. But yeah, I think the Lakers kind of figured some things out in this game that are huge going forward, and I expect them to carry over. I honestly left this game, despite them losing, feeling pretty good about the Los Angeles Lakers. I feel like they're in a good spot. They made some good adjustments. They know what they have to do going forward. I think they've got a legitimate chance to steal game 2 against the Nuggets in their arena, which would be a huge win. Nobody has managed to beat the Nuggets at home so far these playoffs. And if the Lakers can take that game 2 with the adjustments, with how great their offense looked too, because their offense has had a lot of struggles over the course of these playoffs, and the Nuggets defense has looked pretty good. But the fact that the Lakers offense looked good, they made adjustments that worked, and I think they figured out a lot of what they need to do to try and slow Denver down in that fourth quarter. I feel pretty good about the Lakers going forward. I think they're in a good spot. The Nuggets, meanwhile, I think can also feel pretty good about the way this game went. Like I mentioned, Nikola Jokic was amazing. Jamal Murray was good. Michael Porter Jr. Your team is clicking. I mean, you put up 132 points on the best playoff defense so far, and also you won, so you have to feel pretty good about the way that that went. But they, of course, do have to kind of figure out some of these adjustments to make. What do you do with Aaron Gordon? What if he's not knocking down his threes? You can't keep him in the dunker spot always, because Anthony Davis is going to cause those problems. You also made some ridiculous shots. Is that sustainable? To be honest, I kind of think it is. I saw a lot of Lakers fans saying, oh, we're going to be great because we made these adjustments, and the Nuggets shot 1,000,000,000% from the field. There's no way they do that again. Well, spoiler alert, it's the Denver Nuggets. They've kind of been doing this all season, so I do think they can do that again. But some of the shot making was kind of ridiculous. I mean, there was that Jokic 3, Jamal Murray hit a crazy 3 that ended up being reviewed and being a 2 towards the end of the buzzer as well against LeBron James, which was absurd. They were just unstoppable. And if that shot making regresses a little bit, it is a bit worrying. Now, the Nuggets offense is incredible, like legitimately the best in the league at this point, so I don't think they're going to see much regression, and I do think they were able to show that, hey, the Lakers defense isn't going to bother us that much, but they're going to have to make some adjustments. They need Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. to keep being amazing. They need Jamal Murray to play a lot better defense than he did in this game. And if they can do those things, I think the Nuggets are in a pretty good spot as well. Overall, I think both of these teams showed a lot of positives in this game. I think they're going to carry forward into game 2, which I cannot wait for. I just want to see more of this series. It was an incredibly fun game 1 that felt like a classic. Star power on both sides, like I mentioned, between Anthony Davis putting up a 40-piece, Jokic having a 30-point triple-double. I think he's now set the record for the most 30, 20, 10 triple-doubles in playoff history, and he's had 2 of them so far in these playoffs themselves. He's ridiculous, probably the best player in the world at this point. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this game 1. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were in the comment section below. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos. And also, comment down below what your overall prediction is for this series after seeing game 1. Do you think the Lakers carry this over, this momentum, take game 2, and then take a game or 2 at, I almost said Staples Center, it's the Crypto.com Arena, which I hate to say every single time. But do you think the Lakers are able to take some kind of upper hand, or do you think the Nuggets take a 2-0 lead going into Los Angeles, which honestly may just be kind of hard for the Lakers to eventually overcome? So yeah, appreciate y'all watching. I'll be back with you tomorrow with a recap of Game 1 Celtics versus Heat. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.